There you go.
Hi, everybody. It is the April 2023 OLUG meeting. Tonight, we're going to talk about Chat GPT. And if anybody has played with it, I'm still on the waiting list. Bard from Google and Microsoft is Bing.
Microsoft's got this ChatGPT's integrated thing.
Okay.
They gave like $10 billion or something.
Ah, okay.
And don't forget to talk about Llama.
That's what I haven't played with.
I haven't either.
Llama?
Llama, 2L as well. That's
Okay.
the open source one you can actually download, run your own copy of it and stuff.
Okay.
It's like state of diffusion for us.
I need to play with that. And then Dolly. DALL-E, which is graphics.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what I did with that tonight. And if anybody on, besides Sean's there, anybody has got any experience with this that you want to talk about, please do. I don't have a whole lot. I can tell you 5 or 6 things that I've done and a couple of questions that I ask that I wonder about. And you know, do you think we're all going to become unemployed? Do you think the world is going to end soon? You know, from an AI. If you're interested about talking about that, I would like to hear it. Okay, so the one that I know the most about, because I've actually played with it and logged in, I got into it about 6 weeks ago, was Chat GPT. And I've had a couple of different interactions with these. Good grief. Done. I am done now. So the first thing I did was just started playing around with the very first thing is I wanted to kind of give my wife a hard time. My wife is very happy. She's very proud of her engagement letter that she's written for her accounting firm that says, you know, these are the terms of our engagement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, you know, why don't you make one of those for me, ChatGPT? So I said, write an engagement letter for an accounting firm. And I got pretty nice little letter, you know, boilerplate spots for company and city state zip and all that. And it was only a little awkward on the phrasing. We are pleased to confirm your understanding of the services to be provided by. That seemed a little, it's a little, it was too awkward to be legalese. It is the only way I can say it. And it says, you know, the firm will provide following services. You put your stuff there. Will be performed with. And then when it would be performed, when it would be performed into places. And I got all done with this. And I sent this to my wife and I said, Mary, look at what this can do. And she read it, and my internet connection is unstable. Not the only thing that's unstable. I got this 2-word sentence or 3 words. Mine is better. So but I thought, you know, a lot of times I can remember my wife buying a book full of things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you know, tens of dollars.
100 cover letters.
Yeah, 100 cover letters and so forth, and for all occasions. And all I had to do was go. So that was fun. Then I got silly. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to know, well, there's a couple things in here. I was in a mood for ice cream.
Sugar-free, chocolate ice cream. Oh,
Well,
So- When it comes to like recipes and stuff, that's really interesting. Did you just ask it for like, how do I make this?
yes, I did.
And
And
it
it said,
just spit out a reasonable recipe that may look valid.
now, some things didn't work. So here's one that didn't work. What is the upstream of Red Hat satellite? Which is really the foreman. And the foreman is nowhere in. But when I asked them for installing the foreman, I got a nice set of CentOS systems. How to do it on a CentOS system. I have not tested these, but it looked reasonable to me. And then I said, really, I got silly and I said, create a haiku about a disk drive failure. And there is my disk drive haiku.
Sadness fills the room.
So I don't know. I think that was a fully. Well, you have to certain syllables for.
yeah, 5.5, this spins no more than 4,
Yeah.
so that's not a really good idea.
Okay. So it's a sort of a haiku.
Yeah.
Okay. But I thought it was fun. Okay, so then I said, okay, well, what's the best way for a non-programmer to learn Rust? And it did roll through most of the language, most of the resources that I had found when I was looking. The Rust book, the Rust links, a list of community resources, and it pointed out to any good programming endeavor, practice. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. All right, now my sweet tooth. The next night I sat down, my sweet tooth was getting me, and I have some artificial sweetener that I got from my sister-in-law. Yes, and I wondered if it was good for cookies. So, what is the best artificial sweetener when baking a cookie? And so they gave stevia, xylitol, and erythritol, which I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a trade name.
Yeah.
I haven't looked it up. And monk fruit, which I have a huge bag of monk fruit for my sister. So I'll probably be baking some cookies at some point. And then I thought, okay, so this worked out pretty well. What about ice cream? I want some sugar-free ice cream. I have a little Cuisinart countertop ice cream freezer. And so I asked for the vanilla ice creams. And that looked very reasonable. And then I asked for a chocolate one. And I got a chocolate one. Now I went to something. Now I decided, okay, I need to stretch you a little bit. So I used to play a game called Lacuna Expanse, and this was an MMORPG, and its claim to fame was the fact that the guys who wrote it actually wrote it in Perl. They were big Perl guys. Chad, that face.
Have you been abused by Perl too? What? Have you been abused by Perl too? At one time.
Yeah, we've all been there, right?
First one didn't buy into the parrot.
No, I didn't go all the way down that way. But so okay, so I know that there is, when they closed down the game, they threw everything out on GitHub, and they said, "It's yours. Go play with it." And they actually freed they released the artwork to, comment, Creative Commons. And so if you want to try and put that thing together, which was using a lot of really early DevOps automation, queuing and so forth, and a lot of really wacky Perl modules. If you wanted to put that thing together and run it, you could. And do you, ChatGPT, what do you know about this? Well, this was pretty much boilerplate. I mean, you need a dedicated server. Yeah. After the dedicated server, you need to load the official download from the website. There is no website. It's a repository. Then you need to configure it. Okay. And some open ports and firewall. Didn't tell me which ports. You know.
You're asking for a lot for you, buddy.
I am. But you know, this is the thing. This thing is supposed. You know, I'm wondering. I should try it again. I should try it again today.
Well,
see if it
probably
got
as soon
any
as you have
harder.
UP&P turned on, it'll open the ports for you.
Right.
Yeah, Earl, I'm sure had a lot for that.
And then running a game can be a complex process, and there may be additional steps
Well,
required depending on your specific homeland. And I should look at my official documentation, which is sketchy. I said, okay, let's try something easier. Minecraft on Rocky. Okay, that was pretty easy. They actually knew
no, this is Joe. That's good.
where to find it, run the Java, put it in there. Then I asked them for some more self-hosting games. Well, I didn't say what I did not say in here. I wanted games that I could self-host on my home lab in Linux. I didn't say Linux. So I got probably, I think 2 of these are actually were Windows games. Definitely Terra Online is a Windows game. But you know, it's just amazing how things like they're still plugging away with their free stuff, and you know, it's like, well, that last good patch was in 2014, and we've just kept it going. So, and then I did a couple. Oh, speaker ideas for a Linux user group. Which distribution is the best? Distro wars.
No controversy there.
No. An overview of the Linux ecosystem. These are pretty basic stuff. So my take on this is, okay, definitely probably procedural things like day-to-day business documents probably is going to do pretty well here, but don't skimp on the proofreading, because you'll get things like that.
Yeah, it's like
translated. Depending on the stuff that you could find on how to do something, probably that's going to get you probably 80% of the way there. Then you're probably going to run into something. You're going to find a bug, or you're going to put in a command and it's going to barf at you, and then you're going to say, okay, well, back to Google with that error message and figure out how to solve that and go on from there. So probably pretty good. Freelancing lists of things to do probably is going to get you the minimum complexity, pretty basic. And I don't know, I think anytime that need to be inspired for cuisine, I might want to try some of these recipes. So I haven't heard any recipe disasters from ChatGPT yet. I'm sure there's one out. I'm sure. Okay, but that's one of those things that, you know, I don't really want to say. Could,
Are you going to this you?
yes,
I'll tell you about how to get away with murder.
no.
I'm not the suspect.
You do know where I work, right? And there is no,
That's why I said you should tackle.
and I have no, I have no expectation of privacy. So, no, I will not do things like that.
But yeah, no, it has problems with overall understanding scope. Like if you ask for a question like, is flood a good development environment? It's gonna just, wow.
Will it go on have you tried that?
I haven't tried it in a while. Is flat FLAT a good development environment?
Let's get a little specific about it. What is a good software?
Well, no, you don't add, yeah. What is the best?
Development.
Now, the model might only be trained on data that's older.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it is
Like
common.
what, maybe 21 or
Well,
something.
using Linux.
Yeah, sure. Probably running a language or something. Let's give this one first.
Let's try this one. Yeah, we can always play with it some more. Now, I don't know. I know that when I was using DALL-E, they gave me points, right? And I could have run out of points. I don't know what the limitations on here are right now.
AI has a limit to the number of tokens that you receive, where each token is a word in the response, I think it is, but I don't know if that applies to the actual UI. Do an Emacs first. GCC.
Did you see that? Vim and Emacs are in the same bullet. That way, no one can say they're number one.
I thought it was one, I thought one was second.
Oh no, Emacs is second. Okay, VS Code, Eclipse, IntelliJ. I haven't played with that.
IntelliJ.
That's Java. That's Java.
But no, they also have PyCharm, which is Python, and all the ones.
Yeah, but it doesn't supposed to say idea. And then GCC.
Okay, and then ultimately, okay, so now we said and what program, I'm sorry, which language?
You were talking about Rust, probably. Do Rust.
Why does Rust suck so much for developing programs? That's a good question like that. You gotta give it a chance to kill the biases.
Development for Rust using Linux. VS Code, IntelliJ. It's the same thing. Rust Analyzer.
I mean, it is, but like.
Is that a lint or is that something else?
Rust analyzers in the house either.
Okay.
Honestly, that's probably not now, but putting VS Code kind of really almost makes sense for Rust. It's probably got the best support for it.
Okay. So what was the other thing? Oh yeah, specific NFS and the network file system and open media vault. And that was great for OMV5, but I was in OVM6 and I didn't say OMV6. So you gotta be pretty specific.
Yeah.
All right.
So actually, I think that's gonna be a big reason why this is gonna take off, like taking over these jobs for a while. It's because like a lot of our job is getting details from people to figure out answers.
Yeah.
And you have to have the details to put them into this.
So
My lived experience with this too is it's very
conversational driven.
Mhm.
So like, you did not have to repeat that entire question to augment the question. You could just say, what about for the rest of the program?
Well, let's see here.
It'll change your response as if you were actually talking to a person. Makes sense? So like, even going back to that first one where you said, what's a good development environment? You said, oh, wait a minute, what if that's just on the landing spot? And then, one thing is, what about forgot?
Yeah, just that, and see if it was certain something relevant to the next or not. It should.
Bingo.
Yeah, Java on Linux.
Yeah.
Except that's there. Yeah. Oh, it's still going. It's the only one. Also, definitely not the best one.
Yeah, net fees, there you go. That's a golden oldie.
It's actually got never done it twice, for 3 and 5. It's interesting. But yeah, so like you said, it's contextual, it recognized that we were still talking about Linux, so yeah, your answer is relevant to Linux. Interesting.
I even did something where I straightened the question. And I said, okay, back to this other question, with a very small reference, and it was, okay, yeah, what else is doing now? And it was just like, take back down. I mean, seriously, it's a long way to go, but it's just like, if we were all sitting over at the bar having a conversation, we go off on a tangent, and then we can come right back to a point that we tangented off on, right? And that's what I see out of this when you're asking that question, so makes sense.
All right, so. Has anybody else tried anything really that you thought was really interesting, that worked really well, or didn't work and it worth using? Have you tried it with any of your, you've got, you do a lot of stuff in what I would consider.
He's talking to Aaron.
I'm talking to Aaron. So Aaron, you actually do a lot of work at low level devices. SBCs and drivers and things like that. Have you tried to poke around and ask questions about those kinds of things?
About our graphics cards a while ago, I didn't really get that good response on it, so.
Okay.
It's gotta have enough of a knowledge base around it. What's really interesting is what's coming up next is Copilot.
Right.
And that one's gonna be very interesting. It's like, that's built, it's available for GitHub from Microsoft, and will actually like help you complete your code and do that kind of stuff. But they're doing Copilot now for security incident response. So actually, you'll actually walk you through the whole process of behind one. So I mean, there's some very interesting on Copilot. It's taking this type of engine and just loading just security information into it.
So one of the issues that I have with something like Copilot, and it as like a code completion, right? Is when you're using it and it goes and pops out code, you then have to go verify that code and make sure it's right?
Yeah.
That's kind of our job. But if you're using that for, say, security response, if there's an incident that happens, you may be more willing to take shortcuts and just believe what it says because you have to respond to security. And it won't tell you that what it's telling you may or may not be right because it doesn't know.
Yeah, reformat your server. Oh, the security problem's gone.
Exactly, right? And stuff like that. And like, I mean,
Yeah.
No,
that's a little sketchy to me.
No, it's a case that it's evolving. I mean, think about it. Think of where we're at. When Kasparov lost to Deep Blue, everyone's like, this is the beginning of the end of everything. Then it turned out not to be. Then it's like, they'll never beat. I remember after that, there came this whole thing. No, AI will never beat a human at Go because Go is just too complex. And now what happened? AI is beating humans at Go because they just reframe the program stuff. But some guy who's like a three-stone guy managed to beat the world's greatest AI because we did a different orthodox strategy didn't know about. So there's always going to be that stuff. But when you start trying to apply security is such a big thing in a lot of ways anyway. And the answers and stuff isn't right. I mean, you'll do something different than I'll do, but we might end in the same place, but we might have different places.
All right. You could talk to generals in generalities instead of specifics if you want to, because we're going to talk about cybersecurity for a minute.
Go ahead and throw it. You want to do an industry chat piece? Tell us to write the two-tactical program in Forth or Perl.
TikTok what?
So,
Title.
program in some obscure language, programming, what list? I don't do.
Lua.
No,
No,
but it actually is a word, well, it doesn't have the AI built in, this probably. But if you take that program, it'll more likely work. Wow, it's turning on.
well, I don't think Lua is all that efficient. But while this is spitting here, so the other thing you were talking about, the one that I heard about at Ansible Fest was this. So Project Wisdom is going to be using IBM's AI chops to clean up your Ansible code or write your Ansible code for you. If you all you want to do is say, hey, write me a playbook that does that.
You can almost do that now, you can write an automated tool for a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can. I mean, well, right now it's go find me one that's already been written and then adapt. And there are one of the products that I worked with that I played with at Ansible Fest was something called Tracker. And this was by a company called Steampunk. And it was lint on steroids because it would not only lint it, it would say, oh, by the way, we'll fix this for you. And you need to stop doing this.
Well, we got linters that do some of the stuff now, we can do Pythons, we have Python stuff. I wonder where they're getting their knowledge base from Ansible. That's one of the things that's really interesting. It's like, for the GitHub Copilot, they want to scrape all the content from GitHub, whether or not you want them to. And for Dolly, they went on. I can't remember who it was who went on and grabbed stuff from stock, created a photo and stuff like that, stock photo and stuff.
It seems like bad practice, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's more than a few Ansible playbooks just kind of floating around on GitHub and GitHub.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. I mean, there's a bunch of other
or Galaxy. So,
but you really need a real good knowledge base, because keep in mind, it's like, we've all been on Stack Overflow and like, hey, I'm trying to do this. You'll read like the first 6 and it's like, that's not how to do that.
right. Yeah. Or you want something, you want to talk to a device that's relatively new.
Yeah. Well, you gotta keep retraining. It's like the Fusion one. You can run that at home if you want to, but you're gonna have an old model.
Yeah.
Old models like GPT-3, they're into GPT-4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Until we get to Skynet and I'll fix all.
All right, so this also was nice. I said, how do I run that? And then he said, install Lua and run this.
And it knows you gotta
Save it here, save it to tic-tac-toe.lua and run.
Yeah, and it carried over the knowledge you got a Linux box. So we can,
Yeah.
It's got context.
I wonder. So Python had a big break between Python 2 and Python 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there is still a shitload of code that's in Python 2 that's just kind of floating around out there. I wonder if we ask it to do something like a tic-tac-toe game, if it'll give us the answer in Python 2 or Python 3, and if it'll make a differentiation of how to run that. Because, like, for example, if you get Python 2 code and you run it in Python 3, it'll just fall apart and you can't do that.
Or let's say,
Well, the exception that was the reason why Python 2.7 was pretty.
You can't run 2.7 because of the version. But it's still not. There's stuff like how they handle strings, which change. 2.7 string modes for the same and not 3.
I've seen those loads of that.
Yeah,
let's think of it.
you can't print things in 2.7 versus 3 because they changed print to require parentheses.
So they 2.7 supports that as well.
Does that?
Yeah, they put a lot of that stuff, put it back there. mean, but Unico streets and stuff like that, like in gas.
I'm gonna
stuff.
play
exactly, yep.
this.
But I mean, there's also 2 to 3 to 5, 2 to 3.
Sure,
Yeah, out for my business.
Stable diffusion.
I don't think that machine will run it.
All right,
Probably.
so this is,
Don't try it, Dave.
What about Dolly Mini? Maybe that would be.
all right, so this is the other one I played with. And let's see, oh, it sees me, okay. No, that's not me. It doesn't know me, okay.
Oh, scroll down a little, just that one photo, one picture, scroll down.
There was a weird.
Yeah, literally, this is the one. Huh, it's very Kandinsky-esque.
Well, let me see if I can find this.
A spaceman riding a horse.
Yeah. But here, okay, so. I decided that at some point I was probably gonna throw up a little, I was just gonna do a little blog. And so I said, okay, well, what's a cool host name? Or domain name? Say, oh, well, let's see, all my stuff's in the basement, so we'll call it Cloud in the Basement. All right, so this is me. And let's see. Hopefully this, I think, okay, this is me hoping I don't melt down. Okay. Let's just look for Dallies. So this is so the first thing I said was, is he gonna give me the whole thing?
Your screen is not showing what.
Oh, it's not?
Just seeing in your Google.
You have to reshare that tab. We're just looking at your Google search.
Oh, okay. So let's do that.
Go up to the top.
New share. Okay, let's see, if I open this now. Oops. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, now if I open it, am I gonna pop open a different window that it won't track?
No, you can turn it on.
All we're seeing is your file manager.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll open this up. Did it follow that or no? Okay, so we'll do new share. How's that?
No.
There.
Well, there.
Okay, so my first thing said, well, I want a fluffy cloud with a happy face on the top of a server rack in front of a concrete block, basement wall. Not too bad.
Looks too happy.
It's too happy. Home labs are happy. Unless you buy
Listen, happy clouds. Trees.
happy trees, happy clouds.
No, don't X out of that. Just use your arrows to jump to the next. You're looking to switch it to another image.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. This is a duplicate, so I don't want that one. Okay, so
Next. Hey,
That
This time,
looks
instead of a
4K.
happy cloud, I said a fluffy cloud. With a happy face.
That looks pretty real.
On top of a server rack
That pixel peeping.
in front of a concrete block basement wall. And I got the server, I didn't like the server rack as much as the one I had on the first one, but I like the kind of the 3D
yeah,
cloud. So here's my thing. All right. So that's pretty cool. I think I'll probably use that.
Yeah.
But I don't
what's the
see,
license on that?
what is the license on that? I don't know yet.
Does it say Getty Images as part of it?
No, it doesn't. I don't see.
There was some that said Getty Images.
Even today I saw something, I don't know where it was. In my travels through the internet today, I saw so-and-so, organization says that DALL-E should watermark all of its artwork, and it was showing a deep fake of some type.
The whole picture, that's why I saw that.
Yeah. And they're saying, no, it should have a watermark. I said, well, okay. And I looked and I thought, I don't see a watermark. I see this little thing down here.
Oh, you've seen the Tom Brady stamp special deepfake?
No.
Oh, man. It's just the voice, but it's a simulation of a guy doing his voice with a comedy special. It's very R-rated, that's all.
Okay.
Very, very good.
But, if I use this, I told it what to do, but I didn't do it.
Yeah,
They did it.
well, that also goes to the question, even if you can do diffusion and stuff like that, what's the license on that? I mean, what's the license on the stuff with ChatGPT? You use that for, if I decide to use that chunk of code month, something like Friday.
Yeah.
Write me a linked list or something.
Mhm.
I don't know, that's a conversation going around right now with Copilot. That's figuring out like what that looks like, especially with Copilot, because it pulls from everything on GitHub regardless of license.
Yeah,
So anyway, that was fun to play with. Now I used some points up for that, and you get so many points. And eventually, you probably will run out of points and you have to spend some money, but
well, that's what they've got ChatGPT Pro too.
Right.
Fast responses and so on.
so anyway, that's what I played with. Those are the things I worry about. It's like, okay, well, what does it say? Confidently incorrect, right? Confident, yes, it is. So check your work, check their work, check the work that you're generating. Who owns the license? If I tell you, I just told you to write tic-tac-toe in Lua, unless you actually pulled one somewhere, if you actually went through and thought about how, if a ChatGPT actually tried to put rules for tic-tac-toe and then generate statements of Lua code, there's no license on there. There's no. So what is it? Who owns that license?
There was no explicit license. Tom, or there's whatever license you get for using ChatGPT. I mean, it's kind of like someone came up with the Stack Overflow keyboard. It was one button to take your Stack Overflow and cut and paste.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people, I mean, I Stack Overflow 20 times a day to pick up something.
Anyway, okay. Well, that's pretty much it for me. Anybody else has any discussion? Let me know.
I have a little something I can share. It's sort of half baked, but it's on topic.
Well, I'm half baked. This has been half baked. So you're right with us.
All right. I'll share my window here.
There we go.
I've been playing around with, I got a Coral USB device, and I've been playing around with Frigate and Home Assistant for image recognition using AI. And I thought That's kind of cool. Let me bring up my screen. That's good. All right. I don't have a bar on my screen. Are you guys seeing the right screen?
We are seeing Home Assistant inside your browser.
Okay,
Now we're
great.
seeing a camera feed.
All right. So this is just my doorbell camera. I have a Frigate container running on my NAS, and then hooking that up to Home Assistant with integration. But it's kind of cool. You can go through here and you can see it's kind of, I mean, this is kind of standard stuff for a doorbell. But instead of sending it to a cloud somewhere, in the world, it is doing all this locally. So you can see there's my dog. I've got it checking for dog, people, cats, and then I had to take cars out because there's too many cars. So there's my wife bringing home my dog, and the AI recognizes that this is a dog. And yeah, oh, I had contractors here today, so lots of people coming in and out. But we had a cat last night. There you go. So on one hand, you'll see, oh, great, it knows it's a cat, 81%. But then it also thinks it's a person. So it's not perfect. It's only as good as the training data.
That's just like a cat, though.
Yeah. But so this is the image recognition is kind of cool. And that's the AI part. I thought, and you kind of get a log, but this is the integration into Home Assistant. And so you get a log of all the different events and then kind of a dashboard of, if there's presently a cat in front of your house or and whatnot. And then I don't know if you guys have messed with Home Assistant all that much, but each one of these is broken out into an entity. So you can automate based on these entities. I haven't done that because I don't have as much time as I'd like. But one kind of example of that I like to use is if the AI recognizes that there are not any vehicles around the house and the pantry door is open, then it can send an alert because my dog likes to get in the pantry or when we're not home, things like that. But that's kind of straying more into Home Assistant territory. And like I said, this is kind of half baked, but this is I've been pretty impressed by its ability to recognize objects. People, it's really good at. Cars, it's really good at. Animals, it's not as good. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had.
Okay. So is that part of?
Microphone's over here.
Go the other way. All right. So where did you get the? You've got a picture of a dog, how do you train? Is there a routine that says if it looks like this, it's a dog? Or
So it has it comes preloaded with the training data,
okay,
just from the the people that are contributing to the project. But and I actually had this up, but they have a program called Frigate Plus, where you can upload your pictures and contribute to a new set of training data. And then they also have a paid plan to where you can do all that. And then you also get access to some other models that they have trained.
Okay.
For $5 a month I haven't done it, but and then there's of course like the hard way of just training AI models and then getting them into Frigate. But yeah.
That's cool. I want to play with Home Assistant. Hopefully
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Another rabbit hole.
They do also have a plugin that kind of piggybacks on Frigate to do the actual facial recognition as well. It's called Double Take, and it waits for Frigate to do its recognition, and then that is written to a file, and then Double Take comes back around, picks up that file, and then does its facial recognition step on that. So it's kind of a cool way they got it to hand off between two separate programs.
All right, thank you very much.
You need speakers for next month, correct?
Yes, we need actually, we need speakers for May and June. We will be skipping July because it is July 4th.
Okay.
And I'll throw something out on Discord, and I'll throw something out on there too.
Is our Discord server on the website?
Pardon me?
The Discord server URL, it's on the website.
Yeah, I can get it.
Oh,
You usually.
well, you know,
I
I've usually thrown it on the mailing list, but I'll throw it back. I'll throw it on the
website.
website again.
Careful posting that stuff publicly.
Well, yeah.
Let me find.
Are you on the mailing list?
Probably not.
Okay.
I just, like, last month.
Okay.
I get all that shit together.
Well,
The mailing list is pretty slow, Discord's pretty much taken over, which would make sense.
well, yeah, Discord's not that. Discord is not all that. It's probably like 10 messages a month.
Sure.
So.
It's not this hard. Okay. Well, let's end the recording and then we'll work on the rest of that.
Okay.
So thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sean. And I'm gonna stop the recording. So thank you.